choking on the string from a helium balloon.
This balloon here landed in the field, and it has with it a long piece of very sharp string, which she was very curious and a very brave little horse, and she'd swallowed all this, so she was choking on this, and at the same time this had obviously got jammed around her head as well, and she would absolutely, apart from choking, she would be panicking in terrible fear and crashed into the gate in panic. It has become a major issue and a major cause of concern, and after this it's been desperately worried about it.
Really distressing story. We are joined now by Kathy Hyde from the RSPCA and Paul Jackson, who organises balloon releases for schools and charities. Kathy, if I could just ask you first of all, how often do you hear stories like that?
Yes, regular reports. Either animals being frightened by balloon releases, and it's not just the domestic animals. Our hearts go out to this lady who sadly lost her horse, but also there's the problems with the wildlife, because when these balloons land, they're quite inquisitive wild animals. All animals are quite inquisitive, and they will ingest them, and they will die a very slow, painful death. So we have major concerns about that, and also with the release of lanterns as well. That can cause real problems with livestock, especially being startled by them. So there's two issues here. There's one, the fear issue to the balloons and lanterns, frightening them, and then there's when they come to land, it's the possibility of them ingesting it or getting injured, as this horse did.
Balloons have been around for a long time. Are you sensing that there have been more problems recently?
I think they're becoming more sort of the thing to do. We're seeing them more at parties, sadly funerals as well, and I think I can understand people wanting to show as a mark of respect or celebration, but it's, because it's happening more, it's having more of an impact on the animals.
Yeah, Paul, this is your business, this is what you do, and a lot of people watching this, they'll have done this, maybe in the back garden or at an organised event. What do you make of what you're hearing?
Well, first, it's very sad what's happened, and the balloon that was shown on the footage just there is actually a foil balloon, not what we would release, not what we recommend. As an industry, we have guidelines that say that the balloon should be a certain size, anything that's released should be biodegradable, so that's a paper ticket with a hole in it. The balloon is obviously natural latex.
You're saying the foil balloon we saw there is something specifically that's more dangerous?
A foil balloon shouldn't be released, it's not biodegradable, it's a foil, it will float, go up at the same size and come down, they're 18 inches across, so nothing changes, they go up, they burst, they come back down, they're still the same size. And also, if you put a metallic ribbon on them, they actually could conduct electricity as well, so they're a no-no in the industry, as it were. It's the rubber balloons that we would release, and schools and fundraisers.
And we have had a massive response on this from everybody at home who's been watching, saying that Lucy's written in saying, sorry to say, but we released balloons of both our boys' celebration of life services. It was very special. Everyone chose a balloon to remember the boys' personalities. It was an important part of the grieving process for them. It's a hugely popular and for some people very important thing to be able to do.
The hospice movement actually use it for bereavement counselling, especially with younger people. So I've had customers and hospices which have bought the gas and balloons from us. But as I say, it is two different things in that the foil balloons aren't biodegradable, they shouldn't be released. The guidelines that all of us in our industry say that you should only release items that are biodegradable. A rubber balloon will travel up that 5 miles, it will then freeze, shatter and come back as a small amount of pieces. It will then distribute over a wide area. One balloon could be sort of over 15 square miles, so the pieces that come back down are very, very small. So that's not going to injure a horse in the way that a foil balloon would, as you've seen on the film.
Kathy, where does this leave you and your thinking about this? Because those balloons, you described very well what should happen.
Yes.
But clearly, some balloons are going to end up where you don't want them in someone's back garden or in a field somewhere. That will happen.
I fully appreciate the grieving processes, celebration type situations, and obviously there's been massive improvements in the type of balloons that are being used, but that doesn't take away the fact that horses and livestock and domestic pets can be frightened by these balloon releases, and not everybody is being responsible, and obviously that's happened with this horse with the foil balloon.
You mentioned lanterns as well, saying that you think lanterns are as much of a problem as balloons, so the paper lanterns that people light and go up, surely that disappears?
Unfortunately, we get a lot of wildlife that are impacted by that, because the frame to the balloon, it isn't just paper. They have introduced ones where it's cane rather than a metal frame or wooden frame, but we've had cases where livestock have ingested those frames, or wildlife have got caught in them. And again, there's the fear factor when these are released. They look beautiful. You know, no one's going to argue with that. But the impact when, you know, when the beauty is gone is massive on all animals.
Yeah, but part of the thing is, when we're just looking at some of those images there, part of what works with balloon releases is when you have lots of them. It's the kind of scale of it in a way that makes it so impressive.
Other latex balloons, a release of say 500 latex rubber balloons with the ticket, with nothing else, no string, no tag. Once they come back down to earth, they will spread. I mean, we've had releases where they've gone to France, Germany, Holland, and beyond, quite a way, and they'll come down, and they'll come down over miles, 15 or so miles, and you'll have only one shattered balloon within that area, so very small pieces. But they are a nice spectacle. They're a good fundraiser, and so balloons have been around for a long time. But as I say, foil balloons in America, for example, you cannot sell a foil balloon, as in the pictures on the screen, without a balloon weight, so it can't be accidentally released. The chances are that could have been accidentally released. It might be that a child was given it and it didn't have a weight on it, it was released.
Thank you both very much for your time this morning.
7:47. Let's go to Carol now, who has this morning's weather for us. Morning to you, Carol.
Good morning.